Saints, the psalm for this week's lectionary reading is Psalm 15. I preached that at my dad's funeral, and I've been pretty transparent about my relationship with my dad, with all of you. I loved my dad dearly. We had a complicated journey, and we did sort it out long before he went home to be with the Lord. Suffice it to say, though, I want to share some insights from Psalm 15, but I want to back into them. Because Carl Jung, the eminent Swiss psychiatrist, said that the greatest burden of the child is the unlived life of the parent. I carried that burden for years, feeling the weight of my dad's dreams that were never mine to begin with, and yet somehow they became my assigned destiny. When I was young, I didn't question his authoritative stance about my future. How could I? He was my dad, and in his mind, he was giving me what he never had: a clear path, a predetermined success, a chance to fulfill what remained broken in his own story. And yet, as I moved into adolescence, something in me recoiled. The dream he'd chosen for me felt foreign, imposed, disconnected from whatever was stirring in my own heart. And our relationship was fracturing. The strain ran deep on so many levels. We were locked into this dance where his love for me was entangled with his need for me to become what he never could. And in my growing need for autonomy, I interpreted his guidance as control and his dreams as chains and shackles. Those scars from that broken image of our relationship marked me in ways that took decades to understand, let alone heal. It wasn't until my middle passage of life that we both finally began, and the word is began, to sort things out. By then, we both had enough battle wounds and enough wisdom to see past the roles we'd been playing. We found our way to resolution, took a long time, to a place where we could acknowledge both the damage and the love that somehow coexisted all those years. And so that's why I chose Psalm 15 at his funeral, because despite all our complexity, despite the dreams that divided us, there were areas in my dad's life that were genuinely honorable. He was a man who swore by his own hurt and didn't change. When he gave his word, he kept it, even when it cost him. He uttered no slander, did no wrong to his neighbors, and even when those he parted company with, I never really saw him cast slurs or speak with malice. Those are David's words in Psalm 15, and they resonate deeply to this day when I think about my dad. So standing there behind the sacred desk at his memorial service, I realized that while our relationship had been marked by broken dreams and strained expectations, he'd lived with an integrity that was worthy of honor. Psalm 15 spoke to that, to the kind of character that dwells in God's presence, not because it's perfect, but because it's authentic, because it's faithful, and because it's ultimately honorable in the ways that matter most. O Lord, who may abide in your tent? Who may dwell on your holy hill? He who walks with integrity and works righteousness and speaks truth in his heart. He does not slander with his tongue, nor does evil to his neighbor, nor take up a reproach against his friend. In whose eyes a reprobate is despised, but who honors those who fear the Lord. He swears to his own hurt and does not change. He does not put out his money at interest, nor does he take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things will never be shaken. And I would argue that I lived to observe my dad live that out, regardless of his flaws, and he had many, regardless of his brokenness, and it was deep. That's my dad's legacy to me, and I will be forever grateful.